complainant in this case?
The complainant is General Mabula, because he's the one who opened a case after the threat assessment. Then he registered the case and investigated it. So General Khomotso Patlane became a witness as an A2. So General Mabula is A1, General Patlane A2.
This is the same case that was handed to you eventually?
Yes.
No. The Patlane case, I take it that Paul O'Sullivan is actually a complainant. Is he
Yes.
alone or a group of them?
Yes, he's the complainant.
Okay. Is it standard operating procedure that complainants can actually become lead investigators in their own cases?
It is not, and especially taking into consideration the sections that I have read out of the IPID Act that specifically say that at paragraph 30 or 31, I say there that Section 2D of IPID Act provides for the object of this act, which is being to provide for independent and impartial investigation of identified criminal offenses allegedly committed by members of the SAPS. And at paragraph 33(2) provides that any member of the directorate who willfully discloses information in circumstances in which he or she knows or could reasonably be expected to know that such a disclosure will or may prejudicially affect the exercise or the performance by the directorate of the powers and functions is guilty of an offense.
Would you say then, therefore, in the light of the legislation that you have actually just alluded to now, that the actions of Mr. O'Sullivan in leading the investigation in his own case in full knowledge of the IPID was deliberate?
It was deliberate, it was conscious, but he had to do his part in terms of showing General Patlane that I can do what I promised you to do, number one, and then I can get you dismissed or suspended.
In paragraph 131, the Patlane, the anti-Patlane group, you are actually saying that, in your opinion, there was evidence of a sustained, continuous, unlawful campaign to target General Patlane and other victims.
Yes.
Why is this?
There was a continuous disclosure. Whatever was investigated with a person like Trent and O'Sullivan, who were supposed to be part of the investigation. When applications for 205, Section 205 were made, they were made by them. When the IPID only took those 205s so that the magistrate can sign them and then send them to the service provider. The bank statements, the cell phone records, they were received by the same individuals who then just emailed them to O'Sullivan and Trent. So this was continuous up until they were arrested.
Would you actually also conclude that Mr. Paul O'Sullivan and Mr. McBride and others were part of this group, the
Yes,
Anti-Pahlane task team?
yes. In fact, I described them as the persons who managed the affairs of the enterprise, because you have to differentiate in terms of section 21E of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act. You have to differentiate as to who is participating in the racketeering activities and who is managing the enterprise. So McBride, Trent, and O'Sullivan were identified as the persons who were managing the affairs of the enterprise.
Well, in fact, your statement is corroborated by the statement made here by Mr. Nkabinde, because
Yes.
Mr. Nkabinde also made such an assertion that Mr. McBride and Mr. Paul O'Sullivan were part of the Pahlane task team.
Yes.
Together with him, Nkabinde himself.
Yes, together with Nkabinde.
There is somewhere where you made mention of former Minister Mr. Ntlego's statement, having you obtained a statement from former Minister Ntlego.
Yes, after we discovered that his credit record was also obtained unlawfully by Sarah Jane Trent on the instruction of McBride, who gave Sarah Jane Trent the ID number of Minister Ntlego. Then I instructed the police to approach Minister Ntlego and obtain his statement, and that was done.
Yeah, in paragraph 92, where your matter which you had worked so hard to actually collect and collate evidence for, was struck off the roll. What would be the legal basis for doing that?
It will be for the unreasonable delay. So I tried to argue against it that there was no unreasonable delay. We have concrete reasons why there was a delay, but it was not unreasonable. But the magistrate did not agree with me, and I had to live with the fact that the magistrate did not agree with me, and then try to address the reasons for the delay and try to get the indictment completed and the prosecution memorandum so that we can apply from the NDPP for the racketeering certificate, but there were some challenges in regard to that.
In your opinion, advocate, why would Paul O'Sullivan and Mr. McBride work so hard to ensure that General Pahlane actually ends up in jail? Why was that? Why is that?
I watched, I think at some stage, there was evidence before this honorable court. I just don't remember who gave that evidence that there was an encounter between McBride and General Pahlane at his estate whilst McBride was still under suspension, where he wanted him to be on their side. and then General Patlane, I think, did not accede to that. And then there was another instance where General Patlane had experienced an attempted robbery. Now, McBride told Sarah Jane Trent to post a YouTube video which in which it was suggested that General Patlane was hiding behind a sofa. So Sarah posted with the YouTube on her name, only to discover later that it was on her name. Then she rushed and deleted that YouTube video and posted it under a pseudonym. So what I think was happening is that they wanted him to be part of their group that would consist of all the criminal justice system individuals who are grouped together and who are carrying out their own objectives. But Patlane refused, and then he was supposed to be dismissed or whatever. And it also appears from their own communications that they wanted to ensure that Patlane is removed.
Yeah, in paragraph 110, you actually say emphatically that the objective facts set out in your affidavit, and in particular the evidence, if I were to quote what you are saying, emanating from O'Sullivan and Trent, clearly demonstrate that IPID, to the contrary, was captured by O'Sullivan and Trent. Do you still stand by this?
I still stand by this.
Okay, thank you. Paragraph 118. Do you believe that your actions, that of signing of a warrant of arrest for Paul O'Sullivan, was in contempt of High Court order?
Not at all. First of all, the order that was made in favor of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan did not amend the law passed by the Parliament, the Criminal Procedure Act. So the Criminal Procedure Act empowered the prosecutor and the magistrate to be involved in the signing of a warrant of arrest. So, the court order did not interdict or prohibit the NPA prosecutor from signing the search warrant. What it did was, after the police gets the warrant of arrest, they must now give Mr. O'Sullivan 48 hours notice, but it did not prohibit the signing of a warrant of arrest.
So why would the Democratic Alliance, through its spokesperson, Advocate Honorable Klinis Bredenbach, chastise you of actually blatantly in contempt of court?
I don't know whether it was pure politics or an error in understanding that this order did not prohibit me from signing the search warrant. Maybe it was just an error on her part.
My last question has to do with the braai, which was actually organized. And Mr. Gavinde, when seated where you are seated, actually also said that that was not a braai. It was in fact a meeting called ostensibly to concoct, things against General Pathan. And when Mr. O'Sullivan was here, he said, "Oh, that's rubbish. It was actually the book launch." So in your own understanding,
Thank you
what
so
was it? Was it a book launch, a meeting, or a braai?
Objectively speaking,
Thank you so much. You will respond to that question during the chairperson's time.